Good morning. Good morning and welcome to First UU of Columbus. I am Bill Fiorini. My pronouns are he, him. I am pleased to serve on your board of trustees. I'm a senior white male with short graying hair, and today I'm wearing a maroon shirt. Our speakers provide visual descriptions to welcome people with visual impairments and those listening online. We are excited to be in community with you today. Please take a moment to silence your cell phones and to move towards the middle of your section to leave the aisle seats open for those with accessibility needs. Thank you. If you are visiting for the first time, please stop by the welcome table to pick up a visitor's gift with more information about our community. Look for the Getting to Know UU sign in Beach Hall after the service to learn more about our congregation. And if you're visiting, please also take a nice cup of coffee or tea and relax. Everyone is invited to talk with me or to any of the people on the service team or the board. You know, there's a lot going on at First UU. Please see the order of service or this week's Sunday announcement and email where you can read details about it all. I do want to take a moment to highlight a couple of the announcements. Today is your last chance for free bread Nehemiah Action tickets. You can make a difference on important issues right here in Columbus just by showing up to the Bread Nehemiah Action on Tuesday, this Tuesday, May 12th, at 6:40 p.m. in the Celeste Center on the fairgrounds. Stop over at the Jam table in Beach Hall. Next week is an exciting spring concert. It will be on May 17th at 4 p.m. You can enjoy all three First UU choirs, Chalice Choir, Spirit of Life Choir, and Rising Voices. Admission is free, with a reception in Beach Hall to follow. And just a quick note, if you are a non-choir member who is able to help out with the reception, please let Brandon Moss know. We would appreciate your help. Lastly, First UU's summer schedule will begin on May 24th, Memorial Weekend. We will gather just for one worship service at 10 a.m. on our summer schedule. Watch the Friday news for announcements about summer programming and save the date for the annual meeting on June 7th after the service. Now I invite us all to please rise in body or in spirit to sing number 295, Sing Out Praises for the Journey.
Sing out praises for the journey, pilgrims we who carry on, searchers in the soul's deep yearnings, like our forebears in their time. We seek out the Spirit's wholeness in the endless human quest. Look Look inside your souls, the kindling of the hearth fire pilgrims new. Find the Spirit always restless, find it in each mind and heart. Touch and hold that ancient yearning, kindling for a new-found truth. Stand we now upon the threshold, facing futures yet unknown. Hearth behind us, wayside hostel, built by those who knew wild roads. Guard we ere their sacred embers, carried in our minds and hearts.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Kelly McNeil. My pronouns are she, her, and I serve this congregation as your minister of congregational life. I am a white woman in her mid-30s with long, dark purple hair, and I am wearing a blue dress and a pink stole. This morning, we gather on the stolen land of the Wyandotte, Miami, Seneca, Erie, Shawnee, Delaware, and Cayuga people, many of whom were forcibly removed. We support the Native American Indian Center of Central Ohio in their Land Back campaign, and we know that we have more to do to be in true relationship and solidarity with this land and those indigenous to it.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Dr. Teresa Cooley. It's my privilege to serve as your lead minister. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a woman in her mid-60s with silver hair and a dark blue dress and a green stole. So let us enter into the spirit of worship with these words by Carol Thomas Sissel. We are one. We are family. We are connected by blood and bone, mind and heart, and sometimes bricks and mortar. Like the finest woven tapestries of old and the spices blended and stirred into our family's secret recipes, our lives are intentionally intertwined. And we are made, no, we are fashioned into a stronger community by those connections. This interlacing, intertwining, intermingling of our existence makes each of us whole. This interlacing of our lives makes us whole. Happiness and sorrow, blessings and burdens, lament and laughter. May we allow the magic and mystery, often named Spirit, to keep us connected long after today's service has ended. Come, let us worship together. It is now time for our children to meet in the back. I think it's Gus. No, it's Gus and Nikki out in the gallery to prepare to bring in the light. And any new members participating in the ceremony, if you could please come forward. And the rest of you can say hello to one another. It is now time for our children to bring in the light.
As our newest members kindle our flame, I invite you to join me in this responsive reading written by Sherry Woodbury. You will read the italicized words. Welcome, all who seek renewal in a weary world. Oh. Okay, Callie.
Thank you. Welcome all who come with love and energy to share.
Welcome to those who worry for the future.
Welcome each one who is grateful for today.
Know that in this place you are not alone.
In community, we share our strength with one another, and we keep the flame of love burning bright.
Know that in this place responsibility is shared.
Here, tradition holds us. Ancestors shine a light from the past.
Here, the young lift their bright faces and beckon us onward.
Take my hand, and we can go on together. As we welcome our newest members, let us begin by honoring the ancestors of First UU with these words by Alice Anechka Neisman. Let us take a moment to honor the ancestors of this church, the people who first came together to create a home for liberal religion here in Columbus, Ohio, who worked to raise money for a building, who sat in committee meetings and created bylaws, who chopped and marinated and baked for potlucks, who painted and weeded and pounded nails and washed countless dishes, who gathered to worship, to learn, to grieve, to heal, to serve, to build justice, to transform their lives and this world. We are the recipients of an incredible gift and a beautiful vision. Let us do our part to keep this congregation strong, vital, and thriving for the generations to come. And now let us welcome some of our newest members. Amber Castle. Amber shared that she became a member because it was important to her to find a spiritual home that aligned with her values. Natalie Cummins. Natalie's not able to be here with us today, but Natalie was a member of the UU Church of Lexington, Kentucky, and is thrilled to have found a congregation where she can engage in building community, increasing spiritual growth, and spreading joy. Sarah Furry. Sarah was a member of the Memphis, Tennessee UU congregation before moving to Columbus in 2023. Sarah shared that she was active in her former congregation and was searching for a community where she could build the same kind of connections. John Hoffman. John describes himself as a semi-reformed bookaholic and is looking forward to opportunities to have deep conversations on a variety of topics. Frank Kynast. Frank has been active in church life his whole life and shared that he feels connected to this community, stating, "I feel that in many ways, Unitarians presently best implement what Jesus taught." Ward Pallotta. Ward has been a UU since 2009 and has served in many different positions in various congregations. Ward shared, "I look forward to being useful at First UU." Ann Urick. Ann shared that she and Ward build community wherever life has taken us. She comes to First UU with a wealth of experiences and is especially passionate about healthy aging, progressive values, and lifelong learning. Ricky Wagner. Ricky has been a part of our First UU community for a while now. Ricky shared that after going through difficult times, she found this community which helped discover who I truly was. Last year, Ricky decided it was time to make her time with us official and signed the membership book. And finally, we have Eli. And Eli, I'm sorry, what's your last name? Johnson. Eli Johnson. And Eli is a social worker extraordinaire. Yes. We have lots of social workers here, and Eli, I'm sure, is very excited to meet you all. Welcome, Eli. So, new members, I invite you now to join me in reading our new member covenant. We enter this community
And now I invite the whole congregation to repeat this pledge that we make. Some of you participated, that's fine, that's fine. So let us do this in unison. We welcome you as once we were welcomed ourselves. We seek to be open and inclusive, respecting your inherentity, your ideas, and your vision, in times when it is easy, in times when it is not. Not only when you reach out in courage to us, but also when we reach out to you.
in return.
We ask that you recognize our humanity. We will not always live up to our ideals, and when we fall short, we invite you to stay in relationship and help us more fully bring alive the spirit of love. We welcome you as an equal member of this congregation, of this faith, and of our shared spiritual journey. Welcome all. Let's give them another round of applause.
Welcome, welcome. And afterwards, if you feel so comfortable, I invite you to join Reverend Teresa and I in the receiving line so everybody can greet you individually. If you're comfortable, I'll invite you to go back to your seats and we will read our story.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Christine Davidson. I'm here to read the story today. I am a middle-aged person with gray hair, a colorful striped sweater, and a black dress on. Today's story is called Our Gracie Aunt, written by Jacqueline Woodson and illustrated by Monica Mackay. When the lady knocked that night, my sister Bibi was in the kitchen making sandwiches. "My name is Miss Roy," the lady said. "I want to talk to your mama." "Don't open that door, Johnson," Bibi said. So I didn't. When Miss Roy came the next morning, we were both asleep. "You have to open the door," she said. "Not for strangers, we don't," Bibi said back. I looked under the door. I could see Miss Roy's shoes. They were nice. "Where's your mama?" Miss Roy wanted to know. Bibi got real quiet. After a while, she said, "She went someplace." "How long has she been gone?" I counted the days on my fingers while Bibi said, "Since a few minutes ago." "Well, I'll be back this afternoon," Miss Roy said, "and if your mama's not home, I'll have to take you with me. It's not safe to leave little kids alone." "I'm not a little kid," Bibi said. But Miss Roy's nice shoes were already click-clacking down the hall. "You think Mama's ever coming home, Bee?" Bibi frowned. "She always did before, right?" "Sometimes my mama went away for a day. Sometimes for a lot of days. That's how it was with our mama." "You know where Miss Roy wants to take us?" Bibi said. I shook my head no. "Foster care. It's when you live with somebody that's not your mama." "They have toys in foster care, Bibi?" I asked. Bibi looked kind of sad. "Sometimes." When Miss Roy came in the afternoon, Bibi opened the door. "You must be Bernadette," she said to Bibi. "Everybody calls me Bibi," my sister said. "Bibi," Miss Roy said. "I like that. And you must be Johnson." I was hiding behind the couch, but I stuck my head out and nodded. "I don't have another name," I said. Miss Roy smiled. She had a pretty smile. "How come you already know our names?" Bibi asked. "A neighbor called. She said you might need some help," Miss Roy told us. "My job is to make sure people get taken care of." It seemed like a nice job, the one that Miss Roy had. Miss Roy helped Bibi put some stuff in a bag for us. When they packed Bear, I said, "I'm too big for him." "Let's take him anyway," Bibi was trying to sound grown up, showing off for Miss Roy. "How will Mama find us?" I asked. "I'm leaving her a note," Miss Roy said, and she put it on the table under the salt shaker. When we walked outside, Miss Clyde from across the street said, "Y'all be good, you hear?" Miss Clyde always kept an eye on us. Sometimes she brought food over. Miss Roy made both of us sit in the back of her car. I was able to get in touch with your Aunt Gracie. Bibi just stared out the window, so I asked who this Gracie aunt was. "Mama's sister," Bibi said. "Mama doesn't like her." I folded my arms and frowned. "How do you know who she is?" "You know her too, but you probably just don't remember," Bibi said. "You were real small the last time we were at her house." "Your Aunt Gracie will take good care of you," Miss Roy said. "My mama can take care of us," Bibi said. We all got real quiet. Miss Roy drove us to a big house near the river. A woman came out, drying her hands on her jeans. She stood on the porch smiling, looking at us like she couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it either. Her yard was big and had a tire swing hanging from a tree and pretty flowers everywhere. You don't even miss Mama, Bibi said. She was mad because I was excited about all of our Gracie Aunt's stuff. Do too, and I did deep down inside. Our Gracie Aunt hugged us. I hugged her back. Bibi stayed stiff, but I saw her smile a little when our Gracie Aunt said, "I have lunch ready and chocolate chip cookies baking." That night, our Gracie Aunt said, "Let me tuck you in." "Huh? What's a tuck-in?" I asked. Our Gracie Aunt pulled the covers tight around me and made sure my head felt good on the pillow. "That's a tuck-in," she said, kissing my forehead. I like to tuck in. Bibi needs a tuck-in too. No, I don't. Bibi turned her head toward the wall and didn't say anything else. Our Gracie Aunt sat on my bed and sang a song to us. It was a pretty song. Bibi turned her head a little. She was listening too. The next morning, Bibi asked, "How come you stopped coming to see us?" "You know how you and Johnson argue sometimes?" our Gracie Aunt said. Me and Bibi nodded. "Well, me and your mama argued too. I don't even remember about what, but we stopped speaking to each other a long time ago. And then we lost touch, but I love your mama." "What do you love about her?" Bibi whispered. "She's kind, and she was a good big sister. When we were little, I loved everything about her." Bibi said, "Me too." "Yeah," I said, "Me too." Sometimes we helped our Gracie Aunt cook. She let us throw spaghetti against the wall. If it stuck, it was done. On Saturday nights, she made popcorn and let us watch scary movies with her. And when I cried about missing Mama, our Gracie Aunt gave me Bear to hold. "Go on and cry," she said. "It washes you out inside." Some days, me and Bibi sat crying, washing ourselves out inside. Sometimes we helped our Gracie Aunt in her garden, and sometimes me and Bibi played on the tire swing till the sun went down. And lots of days, me and Bibi would snuggle up to her on the couch, just the three of us sitting there quiet and hugging. Our Gracie Aunt said, "Everybody needs a little love sometimes." One day, Miss Roy came over. She said hi to us, then talked to our Gracie Aunt. When they were finished, Miss Roy said, "Johnson and Bibi, I need you to come with me for a while. Your mother wants to see you." Me and Bibi ran to her car. The whole way we were bouncing up and down in our seats singing, "We're gonna see Mama, we're gonna see Mama." Mama had come back to us just like I knew she would. Miss Roy waited while me and Bibi went in. Mama looked different. She looked smaller and sad. I held tighter to Bibi's hand. "Hi, Mama." Bibi leaned over and kissed Mama. Then Bibi squeezed my hand and I kissed Mama too. "Hey yourselves," Mama said. "I've missed you." "We missed you too, Mama," Bibi said. She nudged me. I thought about the tire swing in our Gracie Aunt's yard. I thought about me and Bibi not even saying goodbye to our Gracie Aunt. Then I thought about all the nights me and Bibi didn't eat because we didn't have any food and didn't know where Mama was. There was always something to eat at our Gracie Aunt's house, and every night she gave me a tuck-in. But I wanted to be with Mama too. "You know, even when a mama loves you, there are times she can't take care of you," Mama said. "I know," Bibi said. "I know," I said, even though I really didn't. "Are we going home?" I asked. Mama shook her head. "Not right now, but when we go home, it'll be for always." "When's that gonna be?" Bibi wanted to know. "Soon," Mama promised. I took my red truck out of my pocket and gave it to her. "You can keep it if you want, Mama." Mama held it against her cheek and smiled. "You two just remember how much I love you, okay?" Me and Bibi nodded. "Our Gracie Aunt told us," I said, "that you love us and stuff." "Gracie's a good person," Mama said. Bibi nodded. "You're good too, Mama." When we climbed out of Miss Roy's car, our Gracie Aunt was waving from the porch. We ran as fast as we could up those stairs. "Do you love us?" I asked. Our Gracie Aunt pulled us close. "Not enough words in the world to say how much I do," she said. "You're our Gracie Aunt for always, right?" "Yes, I am, Johnson. I'm your Aunt Gracie for always." "Aunt Gracie," I whispered, and then I said it a little louder. "Aunt Gracie." and we hugged for a long, long time. The end. Parenting and companioning children is something done by many adults over the course of a young person's life. And this story is just one example of an aunt's generosity of spirit. Today, as we celebrate Mother's Day and welcome our newest members, let us consider the caring and caregiving roles that we each hold, and the time, talent, and treasure that we're each able to give to each other in this community. Please remain seated with your hands over your hearts as we sing Spirit of Truth, of Life, of Power, number 403 in our gray hymnal, to sing our beloved children back to their families and out to class.
Spirit of truth, of life, of power, we bring ourselves as gifts to Thee. Oh, bind our hearts this sacred hour in faith and hope and charity.
Good morning. I'm Judy Vasquez. I'm a tallish, oldish, not identifying as a senior woman with a white blouse and a monarch scarf, monarch butterfly scarf. I'm here to tell you another story about how a girl wound her way to become a First UU member. So once upon a time, there was a girl named Judy Lowder, Lowder. She grew up in a college town in a suburb of Cleveland, but on a trip to Acapulco, she fell in love with a Mexican rocker. Or did she just fall in love with his luscious, very long black hair? But that's another story. Before that, as she grew up in the 60s and the 70s, she was a free thinker, interested in Eastern religions, meditation. She loved creating art. She collected money for the farm workers in California. She protested against the construction of the Davis-Besse nuclear power plant that they were about to build on Lake Erie. She played guitar, sang Joan Baez's music, vegetarian, bell-bottoms, braless, barefoot, and Mother Earth news. That was Judy. She once made 6 quarts of homemade peach yogurt before yogurt was a thing. Who is going to eat all this yogurt, her mother wailed. She goes, this isn't a commune. When she came home from the infamous Mexican vacation and showed her father, who was actually a very liberal guy, the picture of Rodolfo Vasquez, her husband-to-be, he took one look, and she'll never forget his tone of voice. Oh my God. Assuming she might be infatuated with the next Che Guevara. Her first toe in the UU water was in high school. She would attend a con, a youth retreat weekend, traveling on a train with her friends, the Silverman girls, from Cleveland to Pittsburgh. It was so exciting. After being at the retreat for a few hours, she complained to one of the leaders, why aren't we discussing our religious beliefs instead of just hanging out? Oh, well, that was Judy. So here she is, Judy Vasquez, married that Mexican musician, lived and raised 3 hijos in Mexico City for 12 years, so immersed in the culture and language there that when they moved back to Ohio after that 1985 earthquake in Mexico City, she felt like a foreigner. She came back with a new perspective on life, though, and seeing the United States from the outside looking in is not always a pretty picture. After her divorce, she jumped into UU life for a second time when her middle son, Eric, at 16, brought her to First UU. He was coming here with his friends Shauna and Alan, And Eric felt more at home here than he did at the Presbyterian Church in Upper Arlington. And as it turns out, so did she. Needless to say, this place became a large part of her life. She began singing in the choir. People here were very welcoming, and before she knew it, she became a coming-of-age mentor, a fundraising for a number of causes, and participated in a musical put on by Les Clean in the choir. In addition, and more importantly, she made great friends. Over time, with work travels and ebbing and flowing of participation, she always knew she had a home here in First UU to return to. Well, and I was hoping this was going to be they lived happily ever after. Almost. Fast forward to 2020, COVID hit, complicated leaders caused rifts in our staff and created a void in our church life. We survived it all, and we're navigating a new route, buoyed by Reverend Teresa at the helm and an outstanding staff and many volunteers. We're growing, we're a more cohesive group, and we're reinventing our church life, making this a spiritual home and a place to understand our society, and just a safe place to be. But what does that mean for us as members of this community? It means we as individuals have to make contributions. We have to grow with it, find a way to participate in church life. A committee, help in the gardens, contribute to Feed and Read, help with religious education, make coffee. And within these activities, maybe you'll find a new friend. So the church is operating on our contributions and our pledges. And we need a little more income to continue to pay our staff and maintain everything. And this is an easy fix. Think if you could increase your pledge by $200 a month, $100 a month, maybe $50, maybe $25, $10 a month, anything helps. If we all do what we're able and inspired to do this, we can reach our goals. You can drop off your pledge form in the basket online or at the table in the gallery. And let's make this story, they lived happily ever after in the loving community of the First UU Church. The end, or the beginning.
Thank you, Judy. So Judy mentioned Feed and Read. This is the second Sunday of the month in which we ask you to take these green bags and fill them with supplies. This month we're asking for sanitary supplies, cleaning supplies. There's a list out there. And I just want to remind you, a part of why we do this is that this is a largely immigrant community that does not dare leave their home to buy things, let alone have the money to buy the things that they need. So our assistance means the world to them. So please join us in this effort. And our Share the Plate recipient, if I can find it, this morning is NACO, the Native American Indian Center, which we talked about in our opening, in our land acknowledgement. NACO is devoted to preserving and restoring balance in the lives of Native Americans through traditional, cultural, educational, family, community, and wellness-driven values and initiatives. So in order to literally put our money where our mouths are, as we say during the very beginning of the service every single Sunday when we acknowledge the land on which we have taken over, please be generous for this effort. So in addition to passing the basket, you can text to give, scan the QR code, or visit firstucolumbus.org/donate. Thank you for your generosity. The ushers will now receive the morning's offering.
Today's pastoral listener is Sharon Hammersley. If you have something on your mind or heart today, Sharon will be in Beach Hall after the service, and we'll be happy to listen. We have some joys and sorrows from our community to share with you this morning, and there are 2 caring cards to sign in Beach Hall after worship, and 4 congratulation cards for our graduating seniors. Reverend Meg McGuire, our affiliated community minister, has achieved full fellowship with the UUA. This means that she is recognized as fully qualified to serve our movement as a minister. Congratulations to Reverend Meg. And we send congratulations to Kristen Harrer, who will be a guest teacher for Red Oak Community School starting in late August. Congratulations. I invite you now to join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation as we hear these words from Laura Martin. Come to me, you who feel like the world is both too much and not enough. Come to me, you who have left what you no longer believe and are uncertain what you hold now. Come to me, you who keep joy close, who see your way to a horizon line, who feed birds and watch them eat. Come to me, you who work your feelings into soil, that something may grow and something may return. Come to me, you who cannot find steady ground for yourself, who stand too close to despair, who navigate on nights with no stars. Come to me, you who remember music playing and those who played it, who put their hope in the quiet work of donkeys and fields, who stay in the room even when it is hard. Come to me, you. Come to me. Just come. Now I will ring our temple bell as we have a moment of quiet together.
Thank you, choir. I am so very happy to welcome new members this Sunday. You bless us by your presence with us. I'm sorry I wasn't able to go to the new member classes to get to know you a little bit better, but I understand from Kelly that a number of you come from very painful religious backgrounds, just as a number of people here in this room come from very painful religious backgrounds. And so I want you to know that I take your courage and your trust seriously, and I hope that we can live up to your expectations. I think probably what made some of those experiences painful is the way in which some traditional religions can be so dogmatic and rigid. It reminds me of a recent piece by Anne Lamott, where she says, "Half the time when someone announces, 'Here's the thing,' I bristle. Did God stop by their home that morning with a PowerPoint presentation? Had they contacted Stephen Hawking in a seance?" Now, few of us believe that we have the truth with a capital T, and our religion is far from dogmatic in its premise. It is also possible for us to be dogmatic as well, even including me. A number of years ago, when I was vice president at the UUA, I was in charge of a program called Congregations and Beyond, which recognized that not everyone had a church close by that they could go to, or maybe didn't even want to come to a conventional church, period. We were seeing all kinds of alternatives to church popping up. Bar church, coffee shop church, online worship. And we wanted to promote more of these kinds of experiences. But when I talked with my colleagues about these initiatives, I was often met with what I thought was a pretty dogmatic response. They would say, "You can't really be religious without being a part of a religious community." So given that this kind of dogmatism was part of what sometimes kept people from going to church, I found myself pretty frustrated. But during COVID, I started to rethink my perspective on this. I really, really, really missed being in church in person. Did you?
Yes.
I missed seeing people, shaking hands, giving hugs. Above all, seeing them in their whole person, not just inside a tiny little box. Now, I still believe that people can find meaningful experiences with online worship and other alternatives, but I also believe that in-person church really takes us to a different and deeper level. And those of you with difficult experiences in the past must agree, because you've joined us here in person, even when you could have been watching us on YouTube ad infinitum. There are any number of alternatives these days for people that consider themselves spiritual but not religious. Yoga, meditation, Reiki, just to name a few, are filling some of the gaps that people used to have filled at church. A way of being mindful, restored to themselves, protected perhaps from the outside world. But, and I'm being a bit prejudiced here perhaps, does it really fill all of these gaps? There's a recent book by Liz Buchar, a religion professor at Northeastern University, called Beyond Wellness: How Restoring the Religious Roots of Spiritual Practice Can Heal Us. Now, she is the first to admit that it's rather ironic that she is a religion professor, given that she has no religious community or affiliation. And it's also ironic that she wrote this book because she's a devotee of many of these alternative spiritual practices. She says, "I had become a promoter of a form of spiritual wellness that reinforces the hierarchy of the superior individual spiritual seeker and an inferior religious subject or community." But then she began to feel a kind of emptiness at the heart of her practice. So, being the academic that she is, she began to research a number of practices such as mindfulness, yoga, Alcoholics Anonymous, psychedelics, spiritual fitness, and sacred sound. Not just researching by reading books, but immersing herself in these kinds of practices. And all of these practices, it must be said, have roots in one kind of traditional religious tradition or another. But in order, I suppose, not to scare people off, they assiduously try to separate themselves from religion. Even though some include a reference to a higher power like AA, they tend to be very agnostic about what that means, giving people the room to define it for themselves. And some of these practices can be quite dogmatic about being not dogmatic. Evidently, there's been some backlash in schools which now teach yoga because some of the names of the poses imply religious doctrines that their parents don't want their kids to be exposed to. For instance, they object to the sun god salutation because they fear that their children will become practicing Hindus, for God's sake. But when we start separating these practices from their religious roots, Buchar suggests we're risking them becoming, at best, narcissistic, and at worst, amoral. These practices do awaken things in us, and if they are not directed toward positive values, it can be problematic. She says, when we visit their spiritual salad bar, it's like we are piling our plates with kale and tofu, organic tofu, of course, because someone told us that these items are good for us. But then we discover that the kale is contaminated with salmonella, or we're allergic to soy, or we drown the entire salad in ultra-processed blue cheese dressing to make it taste better, canceling out all of those nutritional benefits. Similarly, when we try on spiritual practices removed from their religious roots and combine them into a hodgepodge self-care routine, sometimes we're working against ourselves. It reminds me of a friend of mine who threw himself into Buddhist practices. He worked for a very, very, very competitive advertising agency in Boston, and he was looking for something to ground him until he realized that he was trying really hard to become the best Buddhist he could possibly be and realized he was kind of missing the point. The biggest problem with some of these practices, Buchar believes, is that they can sometimes go against the principle of what she calls not God, or the value of humanity, the value of humility, and the realization that we inevitably live within constraints that are beyond our control. She believes that by restoring our understanding of the religious roots of these practices, we can be sure the values that are associated with them align with our own core values. The most effective of these, she believes, are those that we practice within community. She says while wellness might focus on alleviating individual suffering, real well-being comes with ethical obligations to others, to the divine, or to the natural world around us. Religious ideas, interpretations, and rituals actually provide guardrails for powerful practices based on a community's centuries of practice and experience. So, okay, I admit I sometimes have a habit of burrowing deeply into a newly found resource like this, so I'm going to stop there. But what I find really interesting and very, very, very frustrating about this book is that she doesn't even begin to recognize that the kind of religious community that she extols could happen perhaps within, a religious community. Which gets me back to our basic topic here about what it means to be a part of a religious community. What are our obligations to one another? Because joining a religious community is not just about coming to church and plugging yourself into a pew and receiving something, though goodness knows I hope that you do gain much from being here. But I know that you newcomers know this. I know that many long-term people know this. We end up gaining even more from a community when we also give of ourselves, our time, our talent, our treasure. Kate Bowler recently wrote this: "Community is wonderful in theory. In practice, it often involves awkward small talk, unmet expectations, people who continually misunderstand you, and sometimes can do real harm. And yet every time I've tried to build a life that requires no one, no casseroles, no help, no vulnerability, I have found that life gets very small very quickly. And one of the ways that we experience joy is through other people. So we don't need a perfect community," she says, thank goodness. We need a good enough, try again, slightly awkward, still showing up community, and to be that same village for others as well. So that could kind of describe UU communities, right? Slightly awkward, almost good enough, try again, still showing up in community. We can still be especially trying at times. Remember what I said about non-dogmatic UUs, sometimes being pretty dogmatic. But I believe that this is so because we have very, very high expectations and aspirations. Our values are very nearly unattainable. Our first principle of believing that everyone has inherent worth and dignity is one of the most challenging values that I know. And yet I know that I am a better person for trying over and over again to live into that value. Our shared values call upon us to live lives of interdependence, seeking justice for others as much as for ourselves. But most importantly, to live the value of love. Not sloppy romantic love, but the kind of love that we create together that holds you even when it is hard. One of the things that I often say is that we're far more like one another than we ever realize, and we are far more different from one another than we can often comprehend. The great gift of religious community is that we can come together with our similar hopes and dreams and values and our different experiences and ways of being in the world and create something beautiful together that we would never have if we'd have just stayed isolated in our little groups of known friends or identical interests. In her book, After the Good News, my colleague Nancy McDonald Ladd wrote, "Every Sunday, the people that I serve come up to silently light candles for their deeply held struggles and the evolving triumphs of their lives. They do this without the slightest glimmer of performance or display. They do it with tears in their eyes and a wobble in their hands. They do it with confidence and fear and the world-weary glances that I know to be evidence of their grief. They do all this not because they want to be part of something perfect or visionary or high-vaunted, but because the doing of it heals something in their souls that is and always has been precious. I still believe that you can find some spiritual sustenance beyond the walls of a congregation, but now I believe that you will never find alone what we can find together. We will never be a perfect community, but by being an imperfect community together, by receiving and giving in a constantly flowing circle, together we can salve broken hearts, celebrate the best in people, call ourselves and others to care for one another and the planet, and so much more. And this is very, very precious indeed. Amen. Our final hymn is 1028 in your teal hymnal, The Fire of Commitment.
The light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Please take the hand of someone close to you or place your hand over your heart if you have a cold or something. Our benediction comes from James Baldwin. The longer I live, the more deeply I learn that love, whether we call it friendship or family or romance, is the work of mirroring and magnifying each other's light. Gentle work, steadfast work, life-saving work in those moments when life and shame and sorrow occlude our own light from our view. But there is still a clear-eyed, loving person to beam it back. In our best moments, we are that person for one another. So may we be. Amen. And now let us extinguish our chalice together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of vision. As we go forth, let us heal and transform ourselves and our world through reason and love.